Boo. Hello, everyone. It's me, Christine, again. Who's feeling crusty? Aren't we all a little crusty and old? I know you guys are old. Okay, I have the stats. On average, you are as old as I am. Welcome on in, everyone. It's Saturday. It's also... Wait, is it a long weekend everywhere? Or is that just in Canada? Honestly, I don't know anymore. People tell me it's a long weekend. I'm like, great. I don't know where. Where, when? I'm so happy for you if it's a long weekend. Actually, that might be next week in the States. So yeah, grab your tea. Your long weekend. Okay, I was right. Hello, Volta. I got something right. I don't get all the states' acronyms right, but at least I remember when your long weekends are. Okay, it is just in Canada. Thank you for the fact check. Aha. Yes. So yeah, welcome on in, everyone. We're gonna have a chill Saturday. It's raining very heavily where I am in Ottawa. There was a thunderstorm watch and the trees are blowing. And I'm just like, great. Love that for the weekend. Guess who's not going outside again? You know, I was trying to slowly acclimate to summer by slowly going outside for like 10 minutes a day. It's not happening today. So today we are indoor cats, sipping tea, trying to see if we can restore really old nail polish. These are my hobbies. If you don't like them, you can leave. I know these are your hobbies too. This has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. And at Chat's request during Wednesday's gaming stream, I was like, you know what? It's a good time to do that. It's a good time to revive some old nail polish. So yeah, we're just gonna chill and make some attempts, but I'll get into it more cleanly in a minute, just making sure no one gets kicked out. You know, we've been having some issues, YouTube kicking everyone out of the, what is this, a club? What are we, underage? We have IDs. We have YouTube history to prove we've been alive for decades. As long as YouTube has been around anyways. Love the cup. Thank you. It's David's tea mug. But this one says, "Oh, Canada." And it's a beaver, in case you didn't realize. That's a beaver. That's our national mascot or whatever. Is it a castor? A castor? Isn't that French for beaver? I think so. Or is that also an English different animal? I don't know. Honestly, French immersion has messed me up. Sometimes I don't know. I am sipping on what Carol just pulled up in the chat. Yes, my Simply Maple breakfast tea from David's Tea. I think it's in stock now. It keeps going out of stock. You guys got to stop that. Yes, castor is French for beaver. Okay, got it. Hee hee. That's the French way of laughing. They write hi hi. You know what's funny? I mean, I know that because I lived and worked with French people. But I also learned the Russian way of laughing through nail artists on Instagram. Like you know when you put like a smiley face with like 2 dots and a bracket? They'll do like several brackets after. And I learned that through people like Sveta Sanders and some of the other iconic, if you remember from like years ago, if you were like super deep in the nail art community. I just found it so interesting how like different cultures through like text communication will communicate like laughing. And then you kind of like realize what it is over time. So I know the French and the Russian. Isn't it? Yeah, it's like that. They just do like a bunch of, or like maybe it's super smiley emoting. I'm not sure if it's exactly laughing, but it's something positive. It's Eastern European? Okay. I guess I just associated it with Russian nail artists of the time. You got kicked out? It's happening again. All right. I have submitted a tech ticket to YouTube that everyone keeps getting kicked out. If you guys would like to help me do their job, if you want to share and simply react what device you're on, I think that would be helpful because I'm trying to figure out if it's just mobile. Because I don't see anything wrong, like on my end. And they asked me for all my settings, which look perfect and have not changed. So if you hear this and you're not kicked out and you want to share some data to help us fix this kick out problem, in Simply React in Discord, that's where I'll be able to go after stream more easily and say what device you're on, like mobile, Apple, or iPhone, or iPad, or whatever. I am kind of seeing that most people, it's working on their computer. But like, that's not helpful because only like 20% of people watch on their computer. Isn't that crazy? That keeps declining. Like, that's changed over the last decade. Is it location related? I don't know. You could provide that. You're getting ads too? See, I'm not running them. Like, there's something sneaky going on. I have automatic ads off. But if you just click on a stream for the first time, you might get an ad. So that's normal. YouTube just does that. I can't change that unless I demonetize everything, which I'm not gonna do. But if you're like you're watching me for like minutes and then you get an ad, there's something wonky going on. When you came back in, you got an ad. But when you come back, it thinks you're clicking on it for the first time again. So YouTube does deliver an ad upon clicking into something. It's just I don't have interruptions on. I have them off. So you shouldn't be like watching me talk and then get an ad for no reason. Unless I ran it because I went pee. So I don't think that's happening. Just people are getting ads when they click back in, which, yeah, I know is annoying. I think some people were saying they are getting a lot of ads in the VOD. So that's a different issue. That I have to manually delete all the ads because YouTube automatically decides with an algorithm where to put ads after the VOD is uploaded in like a few hours. It like populates them and then I have to remember to go back a few hours later and delete them, which I did on the last VOD after I saw that comment. But yeah, it's either that or zero monetization. It's kind of annoying, but that's a different issue. Anyways, just tech support for the first 10 minutes. It's very frustrating. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to get through that bump. You know, it's like a speed bump. Now I expect it. It's like we're on our way to school and I just know there's like a speed bump in the first 10 minutes of the trip. YouTube ads have been so obnoxious. I mean, maybe. I don't know if there's been like an actual increase, but I know that they've introduced new tools on my end where there's like, I can choose to do an ads automator, which I think is new in the last month, but I kept it off. It basically means it'll randomly put ads in while you're streaming, but I don't like that. I just want it when I pee. That was my feedback. I think I literally said that on a call. I'm like, that's cool. Maybe it works for other creators, but for me, I need to tell it when it's going because I go to the washroom and then I run it out. And they're like, okay, good feedback. Yep. I'm very helpful. All right. Candy, I always watch on a computer and I've never been kicked out or gotten a random ad. Yeah, there's something like watching on a computer just works better. They must be like doing weird mobile things. I do also typically watch YouTube or content on a computer, but that's because I'm a work from home lady. So it's easier just to, you know, have a computer and I have a couple computers. I have computer privilege. I have a couple computers around my house. So I just put it on the computer. Tend to not really watch on my phone. Also, I feel like now I can't because the screen's just too small and I'm getting old. Anyways, your hair is hairing. Thank you. I had it in the overnight curls yesterday, and this is what happens after 24 hours. It falls out. Well, the hair doesn't fall out. I mean, the curls fall out, but they're not really like the nice wave anymore. It's just kind of messy. It looks like messy girl hair, but that's okay. That's how I feel. I went to a martini class yesterday. Okay, we'll chat a little bit and then we'll get into it. I went with my sister, so we decided we wanted to learn how to make a proper martini. So we did a class in Ottawa. It's not like a bartender course. It's not like that. It's more just like a fun activity you can do, and you can pick like what drink theme. And the expert would teach you how to make 3 different drinks. So it's like an evening where people go and then you take notes on how to make the 3 drinks. So the theme was martinis, and the first one was like more of a flavored martini, more of like a tiki style, with syrup that had it was like ginger, lime, and a bit of almond. And I really like things with ginger these days. So it was that, and I think it was a vermouth. So we learned about vermouth and how it's hard to get like really good quality stuff because LCBO is gatekeeping. Apparently, LCBO is where we buy alcohol in Ontario. It's regulated through the government. So yeah, I heard a little bit about like why different alcohol types matter for the palate. So it was kind of interesting from like an educational perspective. And then we moved from the flavorful martini onto 2 more like straight up classic martinis, which don't taste that good if you just like juice, if you're a juice and booze girly, you know what I mean? Classic martinis, like it's very alcoholic. It's just alcohol on alcohol. Like there's no juice. But I was interested to learn. So the second one was I believe it was called a 50-50 martini, and it was half vermouth and half gin, but not just any gin, like not barista, was sommeliers. She was also a qualified sommelier, which is for wine, but our instructor taught us about different types of gin and how they make it, I guess, and infuse it with different things. So I thought that was interesting, and it was half that, half very specific vermouth. So sometimes there's like sweet vermouth, there's like white vermouths and all this stuff. Chilled obviously on ice, not shaken. You're not supposed to shake a real martini. Apparently the world is a lie. An espresso martini isn't even a martini. But it tastes good. So she's like, it's fine. People call it a martini, but it's technically not because of the fact that it has extra ingredients other than alcohol. So the 50-50 was literally just vermouth, gin, like squeeze a tiny lemon peel to get the essence, and then 3 drops of olive oil on top, but not like cooking olive oil, like a very specific olive oil that you can't find locally, basically. And it was very alcoholic because it's 40% alcohol plus 40. Wait, vermouth isn't 40, but like it's strong enough. And it was like, whoa, okay. So that was number 2. And then number 3 was the Vesper Martini, which is apparently the James Bond Martini. This was lore I didn't know, but I guess in James Bond, he asked for a martini shaken or stirred, and he says that he wants it shaken. But that's because our instructor's interpretation of that was he said he wanted it shaken because when you shake a martini, it actually dilutes it with the water because of the ice, and he was at work. So that's why he requested for it shaken. I was like, okay. Anyways, so we made the Vesper, and that was also gin and also vermouth. And vodka. Wait, was that one vodka? Fuck, I gotta check my notes. I got drunk by the 3rd one because it was just so like heavy in alcohol. Normally I don't order like true martinis that are not 100% alcohol, but you know what I mean, like not flavored with something. So normally I could easily have 3 cocktails, but these were 3 extremely strong cocktails. So I was like, ah. But it was for science. It was for research. I learned a lot about martinis and vermouth, which I never really got it before, but we did also taste test it on its own so I could understand like what it is. Vesper has Lillet. Yeah, so she subbed that for a specific type of gin that she thought delivered the palate better, but was similar. And because she doesn't like Lillet because it's gone through like a modernization of the palette and it's not what it should be or something. I don't know. She's very passionate about the alcohol. I gotta check my notes. Martini collection next. Yeah, I don't know if that would be approved by Google Ads. I love a good gin martini, but over time I put less and less vermouth in my martinis. So I guess I just like gin. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I did last night. That's not why I look like, you know, like I did drugs. Just my eyelash is acting up. So that's why I'm red in the face or the eyeballs. Unrelated to the alcohol. It was already happening. But yeah, I'm simply mixological now. You look beautiful, Simply. Thank you, Sulu. Thank you. Anyways, okay, I think we're done getting kicked out, right? No one's getting kicked out anymore. Yeah, I'm not hungover. It's just my eye rash. I feel like I have to be like, guys, I'm fine. It wasn't even a wild night. It was an educational night. And today's gonna be an educational stream. Let's get into it. We're done being kicked out. YouTube is behaving. Let's go. Okay, I just changed the music back to fun. Why am I always clapping? Like, what's this? Did you remove the AI summary? No, I didn't. Did YouTube? Maybe. I don't know. I did nothing. All right. Do you have really old crusty nail polish? Are you old and crusty? Just add some nail polish thinner. I feel like Troom Troom. What is this? Oh, I miss Troom Troom. I was thinking about them the other day. I've seen the girl expose Troom Troom. So today I thought it would be fun, at chat's request, to see if I can bring really old nail polish back to life. We've all had nail polish that's sat on the shelf for 10 years. Wait, have we? I have. And over time, it is extremely normal for nail polish to get clumpy, thicker. Sometimes it's unusable. And this happens for a few reasons. One is time. Over time, the air is just gonna dry up out of the bottle. Sometimes maybe you didn't cap the bottle properly. Sometimes there's some specific pigments that tend to thicken easier, and that's just their formula. Things like glitter or with heavier pigments in them will thicken easier in a quicker amount of time than a thinner formula like a shimmer or a very light topper, for example. So sometimes it's formula dependent, how thick your nail polish gets over time, and other times it's storage. You know, what is the climate like in your house? Is it too humid? There's all sorts of contributing factors that can lead to why a nail polish gets kind of unusable, thick, a bit gloopy over time. However, 90% of the time, you can fix this. Don't throw out that nail polish. And it's actually really easy to do. Watch. That's what we're gonna do today. I also wanna add another disclaimer that not all nail polish can be saved, okay? So sometimes there's nail polish that's just way too far gone, whether you like literally left the cap open for 2 years, then like, yeah, she's gone. Sorry, honey, put her in the grave. Like, you cannot save her. You could try. Sometimes nail polish is just way too old and it's just past the point of no return and you just got to accept it and buy another one. It's hard when it was discontinued. I know, I understand. I have some of those here today we're gonna play with. And then other nail polishes that can't be saved might be pigments that just can't be restored with nail thinner, because nail polish thinner. I keep saying nail thinner. Don't thin your nails. Nail polish thinner. Nail polish thinner is specifically for replacing ingredients that evaporated over time. So by adding the thinner solution into the nail polish product, it gives it back its liquid base, or helps it restore its liquid base to replace what had evaporated in the air over time. So that's kind of its point. But what it doesn't do is restore color, fading, and other things related to the pigment. Like say the pigment loses its color, say it oxidizes over time. There's a whole range of different behaviors that different pigments can do over time, and some of that is not preventable. It's just the type of formula it is. So nail polish thinner doesn't solve discoloration issues or pigments fading. It's just for thick nail polishes and restoring the viscosity to a more usable state. Does that make sense? So it doesn't save things that faded. But it will save things that have thickened over time. Like glitters is like the number one thing that I think people struggle with. You know, like my glitter got way too thick and it's only been a month. You know, well, maybe like the cap wasn't totally on, or maybe the product was super packed with glitter on purpose, so you get the most bang for your buck when you're purchasing that product, and then you just add some thinner, and it's super easy to do. Nail polish around the world is asking, who stole my liquid? So for Holo Taco, we do sell a nail polish thinner, and it's that one. You can also get a bundle of 3 if you like it. Don't drink it. You know, I've seen people drinking it out there. Like, you're going through it so fast, you must be drinking it. It's not for drinking. It's not alcohol. This is not a martini. Don't put this in your martini. But our thinner was formulated to work with all of our nail polishes, with the exception of Peely Base, because Peely Base is a very unique water-based formula, so it just does not work with this type of formula. So for us, just speaking for our product, you can put it in all of our glitters, all of our shimmers. You can put it in Glossy Taco that thickens over time. You should be putting it in Glossy Taco over time to help restore it. That's like honestly a best practice. I'd be shocked if you never had to use thinner over time. It helps extend the life of your Glossy Taco or your nail polish. You can also put it in base coats that get a bit thicker over time, except Peely Base because it's water-based. And if you want science, hold on, I gotta go to my notes. Okay, so, or here. So you can see what's interesting. There's only 2 ingredients in here, right? So there's butyl acetate and ethyl acetate. I'm reading. I'm cheating. Butyl acetate is a solvent used to dissolve the nitrocellulose, the basic film-forming material in nail polish. It has a slower evaporation rate. Ethyl acetate is a solvent used to dissolve the nitrocellulose as well, but it has a faster evaporation rate. So the combination of those replace the main solvents in nail polish that evaporate over time and with use, and it helps to restore the nail polish back to its original consistency. It reduces the viscosity of thicker polishes and ultimately provides a smoother, more even application. All right, that was the technical explanation. I'm not a scientist. Simply science queen. But that's what they do. It's literally just 2 ingredients. And it's just like, these ingredients are in the nail polish, essentially, and then they like get put back in. Any questions before we begin the demonstration? If you add too much on your Glossy Taco and it's too runny, leave it on cap for a day and it'll evaporate. That's actually a good trick. So one thing that brands, including Holo Taco, tell you to do is just add a couple drops at a time. And the reason we instruct that is so you don't overdo it and like ruin is the wrong word, but make your nail polish too liquidy, because that can happen. It's possible to make your nail polish too liquidy and then it's just running into your cuticles by adding too much nail polish thinner. So you don't want to do that. So that's why brands will say add a couple drops at a time, assess, and then add more if needed, right? Because we're trying to prevent you from just like, you know, going like this. Don't over dilute the nail polish, because then it's also kind of unusable. But if you do that, that Chatter's suggestion is a good one, where you just kind of leave it uncapped and let stuff evaporate again. But it might evaporate too much. So you might have to go back and again with thinner. I'm at least 8 drops team. Yeah, off the record, I don't even measure. I just fucking go. but that's because I guess through experience, I'm kind of confident I can just like eyeball it and I don't need to count. And I know that I'm gonna go through a lot of it, so it's fine. I don't think I've ever overdone it personally, but I also don't want to instruct people to do it. I just fucking squirted it in. But that's off the record, not the legal instructions. When I tried using the thinner, I struggled to mix it into the polish. Any tips? Yes, we're gonna go through that. The formal instructions is to roll it so you don't make too many bubbles. I only really think you need to do that in Glossy Taco. For every other nail polish, just shake it. It's fine. Or if you don't have the strength to shake it, or it's just annoying, or it's not good enough because the product is so thick that like even you just shaking it with your arm isn't working, guess what I still have? Who remembers? Who remembers the Simplynailogical video? Oh yeah, I found her. I went through my cupboards and I was like, fuck off. Do I still have this? Oh my God. It's a bottle shaker that I got off Amazon when I was doing like Amazon's worst rated products or something. Was that the video? Yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot here. It still turns on. Well, I replaced the batteries, but this is why I keep everything. This is literally from like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So we're gonna I haven't used this. I don't use this, to be clear. When I'm adding thinner to polish, which is pretty regularly, not like every day regularly, but like, I don't know, every couple weeks there'll be like something that I'm like, oh, I need a little squirt. I don't use this, I just shake it. But I thought it would be fun to play with this, but you don't need it. Unless you like struggle with shaking a bottle. I don't think you need something like this. All right, let's see my victims who need saving. Here, I'm gonna pull everything out for you. So I went through my shelf and I tried to find the oldest nail polishes I could, not just from Holo Taco, from other brands that I know for a fact are over 10 years old because I can go back to 2014 and see them in pictures on my shelves. So they're over 10 years old, some of them. I also have some Holo Taco because I feel like a lot of people would relate to, you know, having a glitter thicken over time. And Holo Taco glitters are super packed with glitter on purpose. So you're getting like a good full coverage glitter, getting a lot of product. But that does mean they're gonna thicken easier. So sometimes new customers or someone a bit newer to using a product like that, you know, will be confused why it's getting thick quite quickly in their experience because they're used to maybe like a thinner glitter version of a polish from the drugstore that's just like much runnier. That's because that product is not as packed with glitters that weigh it down. And that's why their profit margin is better. But I would rather, like as a consumer too, and this is like why we pack our stuff so much, I would rather you give me more product if all it means is I just like gotta add a couple drops of this because it's better performance, it's gonna come out more fuller coverage, and I know that I'm getting more of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's more concentrated. It's like this is like a bitter, like I learned in the Martini class, except it's not bitter, it's glitter. A bitter glitter. Okay. I don't know if anyone knows what bitters are here, but it's like the concentrated version, the essence of something. That's kind of like how I see our formula. It's like, pack that shit in. Even if we gotta add a little bit of this every now and then, that's fine. Thank you. I want to purchase glitter, not fillers. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you like a lighter dusting of glitter. That's fair, like whatever. But if I'm purchasing a glitter formula and I want like full nail sparkle, then the product itself needs to be packed, or else you're doing like 5 coats or sponging it on. But that's another hack. Like cold brew for coffee? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, our nail polish is like cold brew. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, if you eat the tea instead of adding water. Let's see what we got. Oh wait, I kind of don't want to lay them down yet because I want to show you something. So let's go in order. What should we do first? Okay, sorry, I'm getting my thoughts together. The martini is still with me. Before we talk about thinning nail polish, I also wanted to take this opportunity to talk about nail polish separation. Since this is an educational stream, okay? Make sure you have your notebooks out. Guys, we're doing work on a Saturday, but it's fun. This is an example, not of thickening, but of nail polish separation, which is also not abnormal. There are no alarms to sound. Sometimes I'll see people say like, oh my God, why does my nail polish separate? Like, what's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. You're good, girl. This has been sitting on this shelf for, when did I unpack this? We could look it up. Let's say like, I'm guessing 6 months. And before that, I probably haven't used or really given this product a good shake in maybe 7 years. A lot of my older bottles actually kind of look like this. This one is just a bit more exaggerated, and it does depend on the type of formula. Like if I pull a really thick creme, you're not going to see as much suspension-based like liquid as this, but this is a shimmer formula, so it makes sense to me that the formula is a little bit thinner to allow for the shimmer to kind of gleam through. So some nail polishes are gonna look uglier over time than others, and it's almost always just related to the type of formula and the ratio in order to achieve that effect. So it doesn't mean that this is like a bad polish or a worse formula. Does not mean that. It needs to be shaken, not stirred. Exactly, it's a martini. I remember when you first showed your face on camera. Oh my God. You've come such a long way and I hope you're proud. Thank you, Nemo, a longtime fan from Ireland. I won't insult the Irish with my terrible accent. I can't do the Irish accent. But thank you. That's so kind. Bree, I used Menchie the cat for the first time since buying it a year ago. It's the glitteriest glitter I've ever used and now my boyfriend's favorite polish. Nice. Did you need to add thinner? Because that would be very normal if you haven't used it in a year. Your martini class was in prep for the shaking. She literally taught us a shaking technique too. Here, sorry, detour. Okay, this is how you shake a martini. I almost grabbed my acetone bottle and I'm like, no, what if the cap isn't secure? Okay, pretend this is a martini glass, ready? So instead of like this, which is what I used to do when I make my espresso martinis, she goes, you gotta get like a rhythm and you can't be sitting. So it's worse when you're sitting, but she would like kind of go over her shoulder and it's like 1, 2, 1, 2. Like there is a technique. So now I know. I'm getting educated on martini shaking. Can we apply it to nail polish? Let's find out. I missed your super chat. Oh no, did I miss a max super chat? Will thinner save my super glossy taco? It should, as long as it's not. There is a certain point where like you just got to give up. Like if there's this much left in the bottle and you're adding like the equivalent amount of thinner, you might be past the point of being able to shake it. The existing product still needs to be able to move around slightly. I mean, you can try and do like get like a machine shaker to really do it, but I do feel like at a certain point it's kind of like it's not worth the effort, but you know, that's up to you. How many bottles of Holo Taco polish thinner did you prepare today? I have a couple here and some over there. A channel by the name Vintage Dusty's revives. I've seen that, yeah. Nail polishes as far back as 1940. That's crazy. There's the Mac attack. Hello, Christine. Should we... Excuse me. I just got attacked too. Should we expect an interesting email on Monday? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'll be sparkly. Maybe this is really good education. Yeah, educational, right? We believe you. What do you mean? This is literally education. I am doing teaching right now. What are you saying? Okay. Back to separation. Are we all aligned that this is normal? Now, I may not even need to add thinner to this. I just need to shake it before I use it. Let's do that. So a few ways of shaking are smacking it on your palm. See, this is a thinner formula, so I don't think I'm gonna need to do any severe shaking. So smacking on your palm, smack, smack, smack that ass. Oh my God. Who am I? An embarrassing millennial. It matches your shirt? It does. So here, I'll demonstrate again. Smack it on your palm. Or I always go like this just for safety, just in case. I just go like this. And you can hear, listen. Mixing balls. Another educational moment. What are mixing balls for? Go. You can hear little balls of metal. Sometimes you see them. Have you ever noticed little metal balls? What did I just say? Sounds like metabolic activity. Metal balls in your nail polish. What are they for? This is a test. To make the shaking work, to help assist the nail polish mixing. Yep, to mix. They're for mixing. Yes, exactly. So they are metal balls that are referred to as like mixing balls. And usually there's two in almost all nail polish. Not necessarily in top coats like glossies. You don't really need it there. But in any pigmented formula, you're almost always should expect to have little mixing balls, and that's normal. So occasionally we'll get like a customer service email like, why is there floating metal in my nail polish? Something is wrong. And we're like, no, that's the mixing ball. It's all good. So I know there's at least one person out there who's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Yeah. So what it does is like the two pieces of metal, when you shake them around, it just helps like kick the pigment around, right? It's like, anyone ever had like a protein shake? You know those, it's almost like a strainer ball. It's like a metal ball that has like holes in it, right? And then you throw it in the bottom with your water and your protein powder, and then you shake it. It helps the product mix and froth up. Because if you didn't have that mixing ball in your protein shake, the pigment wouldn't mix as well with the water. So this is very similar. It wouldn't mix as well. So yeah, there you go. So it's normal to have mixing balls. It's great when the pigments weigh different amounts to pull them through each other when mixing. Yes. So a really good example of that is toppers with heavy product in it, like Garden Party Taco, which has heavy flowers. I have one dried up here that we're gonna see if we can bring back to life, or just any Holo Taco glitter. This one is fucked. This one is super fucked. We're gonna play with her later. But yeah, let's just to tie this one out. So we mixed our separated nail polish, which is not a problem. You just do that, and let me grab a swatch wheel actually. Is the blue a creme? No, this is a kind of shimmer formula from Orly that I've had for at least 10 years. But let's do a close-up just so you can see. This is more of like a buildable shimmer formula. And I didn't add any thinner because I don't think it needs it. I think it literally was just an example of separation, but I wanted to distinguish that from, oh here, let's show you the bottle first. So after I've mixed it around like a martini, shaken, see, this one is not thick. So this is not something I would, oh, there's a Menchie hair. But let's paint it. And as long as this is painting on evenly and not like with liquid spots, then I shouldn't need to shake it anymore. Oh, there's that hair. Yep, but this is applying fine, and this type of formula is a buildable one, so it's something you would do like 2 to 3 coats. It's a bit more of like a crelly hybrid with shimmer. But no need to add thinner to this one. Thinner? But separated polish, not a problem. Just shake it around. Okay, now that we've got separation out of the way, let's deal with the thicky thicks. Oh, you wanted the shade name? It's Royal Navy. Again, this is like 8 million years old. So I don't even, they probably don't sell it. I was just going through my shelves trying to find the most separated polish. I was like, oh my God, that one's perfect. All right, let's start with glitters. These are all glitters that have dried up over time. So whether they are 10-ish plus years old, anyone remember Nails Inc old bottles? Look at this. I used a lot of it too. Like you can tell that the fill line is super low. This is back before I knew what holo was. So this is a glitter that isn't holo, but was very pretty. 3D glitter. What does that mean? What does that mean? Marketing like of nail polish 10 years ago is so interesting. But I like how a glitter polish was labeled like 3D glitter special effects. It's like, what? So that's like 90% of what we sell. 3D was so big back then. Yeah, I guess just like using that as a marketing point, but like, what does that mean? Okay. So this one is like 10 years old. This one from China, or wait, sorry, let me tell you the shade name. This is Connaught Square, Connaughty. I don't know how to pronounce that. Connaught Square. Anyways. And then I have this one from China Glaze, which is also so dried up that I can't move it around anymore. See that empty spot? As I'm turning it upside down, nothing is falling. So she's super dried up. I would have to guess this one is also around 10 years old. I feel like I purchased this one, so this wasn't even like in my PR days. I definitely remember buying this one. So this is probably the oldest one I have. Then maybe this. This color is Atlantis. And then we have some OG Holo Taco glitters. Rainbow Snow, you know her. You know it's OG when it only has the shade name and doesn't have any other markers. We've updated our labels. Now we're on the 3rd style of label. But she is so dried up. So dried up that when you turn her upside down, nothing happens. Like super cooked. I have 2 Frostlights, RIP, literally, because she's retired, but also, is she dead? Can we revive her? Let's see. So that's Frostlight from the OG glitter line. So this would have been 2019. That's 6 years ago. So we know these nail polishes are 6 years old and they are completely dried up, not moving in the bottle when you flip them upside down. Can we save them? And last one, oh, the sticker fell off. But this is Party Punch. Also very dried. And we're gonna see if we can save them. Very normal behavior for glitters. Please see notes from half an hour ago when I was explaining why they dry out. But just to visualize, so like, see how I've used this much of it? What happens is after you use the product, air gets in the bottle. Even when you've tightened the cap, there's still air in the bottle. And the more product you've used, like the lower this line gets, the more air is just sitting, chilling in the bottle with the product. So it's not like just closing the cap will prevent all evaporation, because there's still room in the bottle, which makes sense when you think about the lower your product is, like the less you have, the more you use the nail polish, the more it's actually gonna dry faster. So when you get to the very bottom of your bottle of Glossy Taco and you're like, oh, it's way too thick, that's because there's also like 75% air just sitting with it at all times. So it makes sense to me that a fresh new bottle that's filled right up to the cap is gonna be the best. And then over time, as more air gets stuck in the bottle with it, you're gonna need to add a bit more thinner. One trick that people do, which I find is mostly helpful for Glossy Taco, because that's something you would use a lot of. But for example, whereas like maybe you don't go through several bottles of these, so it's not helpful. But for Glossy Taco, when your bottle starts to get lower, this one isn't that low. It's this one doesn't need thinner, so it's hard for me to kind of show. But I would say it's 60% full. This one's not in need of thinner. But if I have like a 50% full Glossy Taco, and I have a couple other bottles of Glossy Taco that are also 50% full, just pour them together, literally. Like even if one is like getting thicker, pour that thickening Glossy Taco into your other one, mix them together, just assuming it's the same product. Like don't mix different brands in case there's some unexpected results. But what you would do is mix it together so that you can come up closer to that fill line. So that way, when you cap the bottle, there's less air inside. So that's a hack to kind of extend the life of your Glossy Tacos. Like say you start using one and then you're like, it's kind of like not performing the best and you didn't add thinner, but you have another one that's half empty, just mix them together. And then you can dispose of the, now empty one. That's the best way to save your Glossy Taco over time. To the very last drop, baby. Don't throw out any nail polish. Do not throw out your nail polish. Okay, let's do some glitter. I'm gonna start with these guys. Let's do the nail zinc one. We're gonna save her. Maybe. I don't know. Let's investigate. This could be really bad. Like, this could be too far gone. That'd be funny if it's just like, it's not possible. Okay, uncapping for the first time in probably 12 years. Oh my god. It's just dry. Like, there's nothing coming out of here. That is a very, very far gone glitter. Like, even the brush doesn't know what to do with itself. It's like, what? It's super dried out. I don't know if this one can be saved. Like, this one's kind of fucked. Yeah, the brush is not okay. But let's see. I love a challenge. This one might need the shaker. Sometimes, like, if your cosmetic product is over 10 years old, like maybe you need a new one, There is a point where it's like, okay, maybe I don't need to put effort into it, maybe just like get a new one. But I hear you. If you are trying to save things that are a bit more recent, like that makes sense to me, or that isn't as super far gone. But let's see. So we're just gonna add in some nail polish thinner. Now typically I would ask the brand or look at the brand's guidance for like what thinner they use, but that's not what I'm doing today. I'm just using this one because that's what I have. You'll see I'm adding in a shitload. I am not measuring because I don't really care. I think this one is so far gone that it's gonna need help. It's also half empty. So let's try. Do you not clean the bottleneck? You should for best practices if you want to use it for years to come. I'm not gonna do that because it makes my hands dirty. I've been doing that glossy taco trick for years. It works like a charm. Yes. All right, so now you can, before I shake anything, you can kind of see the thinner liquid. Wait, can you? Yeah, there. See? It looks like a little bit of water inside. Now, I'm gonna try and just shake it with my hand, see if that does anything. Probably not. Hey Brand, how much thinner should I put in your 10-year-old polish that you don't sell anymore? Yeah, I don't know if customer service will be able to answer that. And fun fact, like all cosmetics have a expiration date or like guidelines on them. So usually for nail polish, it's 24 months. So you'll see a symbol. Sometimes it's on packaging. Sometimes it's like on the inside of the label. Here, see this one says peel, so it's probably there. Yeah, like I'm gonna peel a 10-year-old sticker. That's gonna happen. But I'm just curious what this one says. So this I purchased in a drugstore or Sephora, something like that. So it has to have certain things for the rules to sell in retail. Oh my god, it's so small. So that's the ingredient list. I don't even think I can see the cosmetics like date unless sometimes there's multiple pages. At least for Holo Taco, it's on our cartons. Yeah, I think that's the last page, right? Now I'm just ripping it. It's like a tiny book. So there's a flammable symbol. It says flammable and a 211. Oh, maybe it's on the back here and I'm just dumb. No. Okay, I don't see it. Maybe the rules were different 17 years ago. Who knows? But let me show you. Here. So this is the same on our black cartons. It has to be somewhere. Doesn't have to be on the sticker, but we are transitioning to that anyways because we sell some nail polishes in Ulta, right? So that will be on our new square stickers. But see that little thing? This is the disco cowboy boot. Not all of our packaging looks like that, but see that's the flammable symbol, which is required. And then that little thing is the cosmetic symbol for how long you should use this product for, general guidelines required by law. And that says 24M. It's just super tiny. So all nail polish should have something like that. It's just more like strict in retail, I think. But that is the general guideline that you'll see from the average nail polish company, and it will say 24 months. Different cosmetics, you might notice this too. Eyeliner might say 6M. Yeah. And it really is, some of it is just like a legal thing, to be quite honest. But in my personal experience, I can definitely use nail polish from any brand for much longer than 24 months. But it is generally a guideline. I just think if you know you're a customer, I would never want you to actually think like, oh yeah, you got to throw it all out after 2 years and buy all new product. Like that's not a good use of your money. Like no, you can keep using it. Generally speaking, probably like 90% of formulas are still good after that point. But there are some that aren't. But that's just the formula themselves. Makeup is different though because of like there's some ingredients in makeup, like makeup and nail polish are very, very different. But if I have like an eye sensitivity, I do, then I probably don't want to use the same mascara for like 7 years. You know what I mean? Just because of like bacteria growth or whatever. So it really is kind of a personal decision, and your face might be a different consideration. All right, so let's see if we can restore this one. So I shook it up a little bit, but that's not really working. Good question. Does that start after opening? It depends on the product. And I know it's kind of confusing because it doesn't even indicate. I think some products is like a after opening, and then other products are, you know, based on when it was like manufactured. But I guess that part of the requirement isn't required to specify. So I don't want to speak on that because I don't actually know, and it might change. All right, so this one I don't think is mixing. It's just, yeah, that's just the liquid. So I'm gonna use the Vortex. We already knew. Put her to bed. She needs the overnight soak treatment. Honestly, that would probably help. So if you have something that's super far gone like this, I do think leaving a bunch of thinner in it overnight will probably help. Just like when you do your overnight curls or your overnight oats, just let it soak and then drink it in the morning. I'm gonna put her in the torture chamber though. I want results now. So what if it flies back on my face? All right, clear the way, ready? Ah! Ah! It looks like a little animated GIF. Is it too loud? I can go like this. I'll move the mic away. Perhaps a follow-up stream for the overnight experiments. Well, I'm not overnighting it. I'm getting results now. It's not loud? Okay, it is to me, but it's because the mic is that way, so we're good. She's dancing. Go, 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 go. Okay. Let's stop and see what we got. Did that even work? Was that even like shaking enough? I don't know. Oh, it did not mix it. Because look. Hold on. You can still see this is still all dry at the bottom, and I've just got a bunch of liquid now. There's some dispersion, just like a little of the glitter is like falling down. But I think the nail polish thinner is only really eating away at like just the tiny surface area. It's not really penetrating through to this giant crust of glitter. Now we could poke her around. The brush isn't long enough to get all the way to the bottom, but yeah, it's not penetrating. I would need, let me grab a stick. Okay, I'm gonna stick her. So I just have a toothpick, so I can toss it. There we go. All right, I'm stabbing the side. This is how I make my smoothie. I take the tamper and I just stab the sides so I can stab all the stuff down. This is the toothpick trick. So yeah, I can feel that I've poked through the bottom of some of it, but there's still, like, it's a sludge. There's a very heavy sludge, and I can smell it. It smells like very old nail polish. Woohoo! She's waking up tonight. All right. Okay, now I think I'm gonna shake it again. She's going out tonight. We gotta get her ready for special effects 3D. All right, get in there. Round 2. Martini class. I'm still seeing a lot of it stuck to the bottom of the bottle there, but let's see what happens. Oh, kind of, but the glitter's not really the same. We'll take a closer look and I'm trying to paint on as thick a coat as possible to collect as much of the glitter pigment. But here, let me put that down. I'm gonna show you what I think happened here, because I do remember this product and it had way more purple. So let's zoom in. So see, if you look around, there's these kind of like silvery purple pigments. And I remember those being more obvious, like kind of in this corner. See, there's like clearly like a lilac glitter. So it's a mix of lilac glitter and some flat blue glitter. By flat, I just mean it's not holographic. It's like just straight up blue. But when I just painted it, I'm not getting any of the lavender glitter. I do think the blue is kind of bleeding it out. So it looks different than how I remember it. And this could very well just be a product of kind of what I was saying earlier, where some pigments do fade over time, and maybe just the ones that are dried are sticking to the inside of the glass of the bottle and not necessarily getting mixed in. Does that make sense? Why does the purple fade? I don't know. It could be for a number of reasons. It could also just be that adding the thinner really helped catalyze just the blue jelly part of it more, and you would need to wait longer, but it's kind of taking over. There's all sorts of different reasons, or maybe just the purple is one of those types of glitters that fades over time, and we're just seeing the residual, what's stuck in the glass, but anything that was activated is just kind of dead. This is not abnormal for some pigments. It just happens. There's nothing you can do to stop that in some cases. Rename the polish Sleeping Beauty? Yeah. Would the glitter itself break down or something? It's very possible. That is maybe what happened to the lilac glitter, and you're just seeing what's dried and stuck to the inside. Yeah, that's probably my theory, but I'm also not a cosmetics chemist. I'm just kind of using the little nuggets of what I've learned to be like, yeah, that could be it, but who knows? All right, well, we kind of saved her, but maybe not really. But like, come on, this is like probably 15 years old. It's older than you. I hope. What? How old are you? It's older than Chad. You think she needs more time? Maybe. All right, well, we could do a follow-up in a gaming stream, but I will put her over here, and let's try the next one. Holo Taco acetone antidote would be amazing. Acetone antidote? What does that even mean? Nail oil? What's an acetone antidote? Huh? Also, don't put acetone in your nail polish. I should say that too. That should be part of the tutorial. Nail polish thinner is not the same thing as nail polish remover. This is a PSA. Do not put acetone or nail polish remover in your nail polish to thin it out. It might ruin it. Might. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. It really depends on the pigment. But you probably don't want to risk it. That's why you should use what is specifically designed. Why did I just say design? Like weird. Use what is specifically designed to thin out nail polish, like a nail polish thinner. So it's kind of similar to nail polish remover in that it's just like usually a clear liquid. But this is what you need to replace the ingredients that have evaporated. Acetone is not those ingredients. Acetone or nail polish removers are designed to remove the nail polish, not to thin it out. So I've seen some adverse effects of people adding acetone to their glitters. It could eat your glitters, it could ruin them, it could change the color. So definitely don't do that. It ruined one of my favorite polishes in college. Yeah, see? College horror stories. Of using acetone in nail polish. You said that as I was putting acetone in my nail polish? What? No, it's a pesty. Sadly, I can't find nail thinner where I live. I've also heard people say that. From some places in Europe, people say they can't purchase nail polish thinner. So in Canada, like I've always been able to find nail polish thinner if I go to like a beauty supply store like Sally Beauty or something. It's rarer at a drugstore like Shoppers Drug Mart, or that's like a Walgreens or CVS. It's strange that it's not a commonly like available product. I think it should be right beside nail polish remover. I think drugstores should just sell nail polish thinner. Like it's not that expensive. Like it's just a simple straight up solution. It's kind of weird. So sometimes, yeah, you got yours at Ulta years ago. There's beauty supply stores tend to have it, but generic drugstores that sell nail polish tend to not have nail polish thinner. I don't know why. Someone in their purchasing department needs to get on board. In France, you can find it, but it's not common. Yeah. So when we first released this on Holo Taco, there was a lot of international customers who were like, finally, thank you. This is the first time I'll be able to purchase nail polish thinner because you can't find it in your country, which is so wild to me. Because to me, this is like such an essential, this is an essential service of painting your nails is having some nail polish thinner on hand. They just want you to buy more nail polish. Conspiracy. Maybe they deliberately don't sell thinner so that you don't have the option of restoring your drugstore nail polish. So you have to throw out that half-used bottle of Sally Hansen glitter that dried up and then buy another one. Oh my God. This is a conspiracy. We have learned so much. I see what's happening. Yeah, well, I don't want you guys to do that. So, this is a PSA. Don't throw out your nail polish and buy more. Just add thinner, assuming it's a thickening problem. And we sell thinner for that reason. I don't want you to have to buy another Rainbow Snow. Unless you use the whole bottle, then great. If you cannot find a thinner in your country, look for stock in specialized nail tech stores. Sometimes you need like an esthetician license though to shop in specific like Cosmo related stores, cosmetics. They have some of those here too. But if you've ever shopped at Holo Taco, then you can grab ours. Just add it to your order. All right, let's see if we can do this China glaze. Can we save her? She is 10 years old, sad and green. We need to assess the situation. Oh, the situation is dire. It's a sticky one, fam. It's a very sticky, stringy one. Can you see those strings? Yeah, you can. Perfect. Oh, yeah. She has not been taken care of. She's also half empty. There, you can see the line, like super used. Now, my suspicion is that this one might have an easier time being restored than the last one, because I think this is a less glitter to base ratio. So we might be able to save her. And the fact that there's at least strings means there's like a tiny bit of viscosity going on where the other one was just totally dry. So I think she has a little bit of hope. But like, is this you? Is this your nail polish? Don't worry, it's not your fault. It's very normal. Let's save her. Alexa, play Bring Me Back to Life. Ready? Now, I'm just gonna go in. She's just gonna squirt. I'm not measuring when the case is this dire. She needs all the help she can get, girl. There we go. Yes. Wake me up inside. Wake me up on side. Save me from this hell. All right. I'm just gonna show you. Whoop. Oop. I'm getting a little bit of leakage. Let's see how it's kind of rolling around. I think we're gonna need the shaker for this one. Strap on in. Oh, this is a weird bottle to fit in because it's like taller on one end. All right, let's hope she doesn't fly into my face. Ready? She's so cute. I set off your Alexa. I don't actually have an Alexa. I don't even know an Alexa. Who's Alexa? I don't know. Alexa, play Simplynailogical. Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa, turn on the heat. Alexa, send me to jail. Whose house did I just fuck up? Yours is Echo? Why are you giving me ideas? What else can she do? This is fun. Alexa, open the garage. I don't know what Alexa does. I don't have one. Okay. Alexa, buy HOLO Taco. That's a good one. Alexa, add nail polish thinner. Okay, sorry. We're done. We're done. We're done. Don't call the police. I won't say that one. All right. Where were we? Stop getting sidetracked. Oh, it's still very liquidy in the bottle. Let's see if I can. I think we're gonna need to stir her around. I think that's been the trick here. Yeah, she's gonna need a good stir. A little stab with the toothpick. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a longer bottle. I don't want to get my nails on it. Ew. I know it's nail polish, but I also don't want, you know, it to ruin my nanny. No, I don't have longer toothpicks. She just put thinner in my shopping list. Oh my god. Incredible. I love her. Thank you, Alexa. At my old place, I had a routine called Alexa Make Me Tea. Wait, how does she do that? I want one. She pulled up a Simplynailogical from Apple Podcast. Amazing. Yeah, the shaker's not the best. I mean, it was Amazon's worst rated product, so what was I expecting? That's why I have it in the first place. Okay, this one is harder to stab because I am not wanting to stab the bottom too much. Okay, I think it's working though. Like I can feel that I've broken it all up. Yeah, okay, now I can see it. I don't know if you can kind of see in there. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna shake again. Just the cap. Ooh, she smells too. She smells old. Poke it, shake it, bop it, pop it, eat it, shake it. I do have orange wood sticks, wood sticks, but I kind of don't want to waste them. I'd rather waste my toothpicks. This is my logic. Toothpicks are just like, I have way more of them. Speaking of, will Simplynailogical ever come back? It was my fave. Ben, don't you want to talk to me for hours again? Sometimes we accidentally have a Simplynailogical on stream, you know, when we're playing games together. And occasionally I'm like, yeah, we should have just, that should have been a podcast. But then other times I'm like, committing to a weekly podcast when you don't have anything to say, but there's like some topical drama that everyone wants you to talk about and you really just don't want to participate. That's where I struggle. Okay, we're done. We're done here. Use one of your dotting tools, but then I don't want to have to clean it. I mean, I could just throw it out because I do have more, but I don't want to do that either because that feels wrong. Let's see what that did. Oh, okay. It's still here. Let's get closer. So it's definitely a little more usable, but I do think it's still too sticky. So what I would do with this one is also let it sit overnight. The other problem is when you have a nail polish, like this one is super low. Like I'd say there was only 30% left in the bottle. The other stuff on the glass is just dried on the inside of the wall, but it's probably at like 30% life left. Your battery's at 30, charge it, come on. It becomes exponentially harder to save nail polish the lower it is in the bottle. And that's also because you can't really like do this with the brush and then there's just less to go around. But I think this one could see more life if I just let it sit. Like, see, it's doing some movements. Where was that? Do that again. More thinner. It could use more thinner. But there, I just saw it kind of swoosh. See, it's swooshing. It's swooshing. She needs more work though, but she could easily be restored. Well, not easily. Sorry, I take that back. It would be difficult, but if you were very committed and you were patient, you could add more thinner. See, I'm still getting some strings, but you could add more thinner. Let's paint her anyways. Let them sit, show us on Wednesday? Sure. Have you tried using a magnet to move the mixing balls around? I find you don't really need to do that as long as you're shaking it. But that is a hack that I've seen people do. I think just moving the mixing balls around without the bottle shaking is actually less effective than effectively shaking the bottle. And that moves the mixing balls around. Unless it's magnetic, a magnetic polish. See, I'm getting some, but it's still a little gummy. Like, see those like lines kind of forming on the side? That means it could benefit from more thinning. It's a little gummy. So yeah, I would add more thinner and probably wait and turn the bottle upside down maybe. Actually, no, because you want it to sit at the bottom. But I might like rotate it around. Zoom back in. Zoom in. partially saved. She's gonna need an overnighter though. An overnight soak. Just a little sticky. Little sticky dicky. All right. Who here has Holo Taco glitters that have dried up? Say I in chat. This is our intervention. To start finding a solution. Let's see. There you go. All of chat says I expect this to have happened to all of you. And here's why. It's very normal for super packed glitter polish to dry up over time. But that's okay, we can fix it. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I would be shocked if you had a Holo Taco glitter that's a couple years old and it didn't dry up or get thick, one or the other. I'd be like, what are you doing? And let's assume you're using it too. Like if it's a new product and you've never opened it, then yeah, that would make sense that like there's no air that could have gone in there yet, or very, very tiny bit. But let's start with Rainbow Snow. This glitter is 6 years old. I've used maybe 35% of it. And when I turn it upside down, it does not move. So like she's super, super old. This is Rainbow Snow. That's our classic silver holo glitter. Let's open her up. So the cap is a little tight, but still openable. Oh my God. Like I can't even stab it. It's not rock hard. There's a little bit of movement, but it's very dried. It's more similar to that Nails Inc one we used earlier. She is super thick. Yeah, she is compressed snow. There's no way you're painting with this. Now, let's see if you can see right down the bottle. There's like a spot where the brush was. All right, well, let's see if we can restore the liquid part and bring her back to life. She's so thick we can make a snowball. It's true. Ready? Again, I'm not gonna measure with this one because she needs a lot of help. So we're just gonna, yeah. Okay, maybe I won't fill it up completely, but. Throw in some nail polish thinner. Brush back on, cap it tight because we're gonna shake it. And sometimes this is fun if you start to see the glitter kind of fall. Like those snow globes. Here, I'm gonna do a light shake with my hand first. When the holo is blurry, it's so pretty. Oh, actually, I can't wait to put it in the shaker. Shake it like a martini. Can you put too much thinner in? Yes, you can. But when you have a nail polish that's so super far gone like this, I'm less worried about overdoing it. It's more if you just have a nail polish that's getting a little bit thick, you want to be careful not to overdo it. But when something needs a lot of help, like, I don't really care. Try a paper clip. I don't know if I should put like metal in because I'm kind of stabbing parts of the glass with metal or scraping it. But I will see if I have a longer stick. Strap into my shaker. Ready? Like, just observing it, I can tell that it's not really shoving pigments up to the front. So I can see why this product was rated 1 star when I bought it 7 years ago. I'm gonna grab a couple more toothpicks. Woo! How about putting thinner into all the others so they can sit for a while? We could do that, but then it would be all out of order from editor. All right, let's see. Yeah, this shaker is like not that good. Do not recommend. Oh no, not the BB no money. I don't acknowledge the super chat. Wait, I just acknowledged it. Ah! Okay, let's open it up. We're gonna need to spin her around. Yeah, okay, she's still thicky. So I do have an orange stick, so it's a longer one. I'm sacrificing her for the holo. Oh yeah. So I'm just taking a stick and swishing it around. This will give me more ability to do that. Honestly, I think I'm gonna need even more thinner. I'm telling you, glitter loves thinner, wants to drink it. Use one of the paper clips with the plastic coating. I don't have those on hand. What am I, Office Depot? Sometimes you can even get a nail polish fully mixed even though it doesn't look mixed on the outside, you know? Sometimes the pigments that dry up on the glass are just like, they're just lost. But even though it looks ugly on the bottle, the insides could be totally mixed and totally fine to use. Actually, that reminds me, I saw a super chat and then I ignored it because I was busy. But someone did ask that question. My Holo Taco rainbow linears are separated. Should I be shaking them regularly to keep them mixed or just shake them when I use them? So people ask this about linear specifically because linears, as they age, the holographic linear pigment sticks to the bottle and can actually look like the product is more separated. It's not a problem. You just shake it up when you use it. You do not need to start a weekly routine where you shake all your nail polish for no reason. You only need to shake a separated nail polish before you use it. That's it. A nail polish could sit for literally 7 years without being shooken, and then you just shake it, as long as it doesn't need like other treatments like thinner. But you just shake it before you use it. That's it. So we kind of have to get over this idea of nail polishes looking like ugly in the bottle, like whether it's separation or there's different pigments sticking to the glass in different places. That does not mean the nail polish is defective, gone bad, or anything. It probably just means it needs just a little shake before you go and use it. It makes me sad when people think like something's wrong, and I'm like, no, it's all good. That's how it is. That's life in the pigments land, especially with heavy pigments or some special ones. Like Linear Holo really does stick to the side of glass, and if you have super packed Linear Holos like Holo Taco does, you're gonna see that stick to the glass more. All right, okay, I feel like I've just been stirring, but look at this. See? It's starting to come back to life. Let's see if I can... This brush is so far gone, though. That's another point we can discuss, actually, is what happens when a brush is too far gone, but you've maybe achieved saving the bottle. Replace the brush. I'm just gonna put this back and see if it can be saved, but you could just get a new brush. So at Holo Taco, we sell like a 6-piece set of the cap and the brush, because we also have them in the super skinnies or the wider one. But honestly, with a brush like this, like I might just replace it if I was trying to get back to like premium, you know, trying to get back to the fresh as possible bottle. I think like you just give up on the brush. But let's try. Yeah, we do sell replacement brushes and caps. Too far gone as in too dry. Yeah, because the brush was sitting in no liquid basically for maybe 6 years, it kind of can over time like ruin the bristles, and then they don't really get their like proper rigidity back. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but like it just like swipes weird, you know? See, I've loosened the formula a bit, so it's not rock hard. There is some stuff coming out, but it's still too thick. And I will also paint to show you. This is probably, for some of you who get a glitter that is thickened over time, but it's not completely dried. Like this was an extreme dried example. But glitter normally can just get thick, and it might look like this for you, right? So you might be painting on glitter and you're like, it's pulling. It's too thick. It's not spreading. The brush is getting wonky. And then you kind of struggle with it, right? So that is the natural point in the cycle of a nail polish life where you would start to add thinner if it's just getting thick. Don't wait until it's totally dried up on your shelf for 6 years like I did. Restoring your nail polish earlier or as needed is better in the long term than not restoring it at all and then just letting it dry up for 6 years, because then you're gonna have a harder time bringing it back to life, right? It's like maintenance for your car. You get your oil change, you do it every 6 months or every 20,000 kilometers or whatever the automotive place tells you. You don't wait until your car breaks down and then you're like, fuck, maybe I should have done all those oil changes. So maintenance for your nail polish is adding a little bit of nail polish thinner as it thickens. Save its life. Save a horse, ride a cowboy, thin out your nail polish. Maybe a weird question, but what could you do if the brush or part of the brush gets embedded and dried up in the polish? Oh, you're fucked. You throw it out then. I've seen that happen. Like the brush literally like is stuck inside the glitter. Like what are you gonna do at that point? Like I don't know. I would just give up. That's not worth the effort in my opinion. Up to you though if you want to dig it out and reattach it and do surgery, but like I'm not dealing with that. No. Yeah, you say a prayer, okay? And you dispose of it. That's what you do. I broke my thumb tripping over my own feet. Oh no, Sarah. A couple weeks ago and my nails are suffering. Oh no. Cast comes off Monday. I can finally use my new polishes. Well, that's something to look forward to. That's fun. I hope your thumb is feeling better. I cut my finger yesterday. These are not the same thing. But that's why I'm wearing a Band-Aid. I was cutting up pieces of ginger after my Martini class. So and I made like a ginger tea. And then I just cut my hand because the knife was too sharp because it was like a new knife. And I was like, oops, I should not have used a knife after Martini class. And it just kept bleeding, you know, like just like a tiny surface cut that just keeps bleeding because the knife was too sharp. That's why I need adult supervision. And Ben was like, well, why are you using the sharp knife? And I'm like, I don't know. Oops, I'm dumb. I was a dumb. Yeah, this is my good hand. No. I'm gonna use this guy again. Strap in, little Holo Taco. That's not tight enough. She's going to space with Katy Perry. No. What are you wearing? I'm wearing Skipping Stones creme from the Cottagecore collection. I don't know why my ring is sideways. That ring was from my aunt. I just found it in my jewelry box. She got me this from my fancy aunt. Yes, she got me this ring. It's from Tiffany's. My only piece of jewelry from Tiffany's are from my fancy aunt that I got like in university. So it's a vintage. It's vintage because it's like probably 15 years old. Tiffany's ring that she gave for, I think it was my first graduation. I think it was my first degree. Yeah. And these are, I don't know, just random silver things that I found. That's my ring tour of the day. It is very fancy. It is very fancy. I kind of like the band though. It looks like it's like mesh metal. Like it's a little edgier, which I like. I prefer like kind of more masculine style jewelry. I don't know. Like I like the look of chains and stuff. So I think that's why she picked it for me. Anyways, that's a real diamond, which I never wear, but why not today? Don't rob me, thanks. It does look vintage. Well, it's not actually vintage unless you count 15 years ago as vintage, but okay, let's see. Is she saved yet? Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God. Okay. The brush is a little fucky. I'd probably swap out for a new brush. Actually, you know what? Let's just do that. You need the full experience. And let me explain why I'd probably at this point just give up on the brush. Because I can tell the formula's getting better, but the brush is doing this thing where it's like bending too easily. It's like lost some of its rigidity, but the formula is much better. And I don't know, I guess that just happens over time when it's so dry that it's like kind of weird. I don't have the scientific explanation on hand, but I suppose it's not abnormal. Like the other brush was also kind of fucked in the nails ink. But here's some brush replacements, which we do sell for various reasons. This could be one of them, but that's not why we initially started doing them. We thought this way people can swap out their skinny brushes for our wider ones, or vice versa, depending on your preference. Now here's the part where I'm supposed to tell you to clean your bottlenecks, because that will help air not get out of the bottle, and it will also help it not be crusty when you go to open it next year. So you would take a paper towel, soak it in some acetone, preferably 100% acetone, and that's because anything that's not probably has like oils or other stuff in it, which I don't really want to grease onto here because that might cause some alternative effects. I didn't even acetone it though. I just cheated and wiped it. So for a new brush, they come with a little bit of glue on them, so they're a little bit stiff at first. That's totally normal. It'll break apart and kind of break down once it gets into the polish. You can also fluff it up if you want at first, but it doesn't really matter. Just throw that in, and this is how our 6-pack of wide ones come, unassembled. But you just pop that in and then stick the cap on and then twist it down. And then when you open it up, it's attached. Bam, magic. That's it. That's how you install a brush. Now, when you have a new brush in an old polish, it hasn't been soaking in the product at all, right? So if I like immediately go to paint my nails with this, it's probably not the optimal experience. And that's because the brush kind of like gets fully coated, fully absorbed with the suspension base or the pigments just by sitting there over time. So I wouldn't, if I painted with this immediately, I'll probably find like it's not really coating enough. So I kind of just, as a proxy for, you know, sitting here for 24 hours with you guys, I'm just kind of going back and forth and like opening up the brush getting the glitter into the brush, soaking it, letting it, you know, just like marinating. You have to marinate the bristles. All my metaphors are like about food or drinks. Protein shakes with the mixing bowl. Martinis with the shaking. Marinating the bristles. These are all very normal things you do with food. So it makes sense, you know, you're gonna do it with nail polish. Nail polish looks very tasty. And while we're marinating the brush, I'm also just gonna hang this guy upside down. Because you can kind of see the glitter falling from the bottom, which means that we might have successfully restored this polish. We'll find out on this episode of Simplynailogical. But I like to see my glitter kind of softly falling. That's when I know I've restored it. So like here, let's do that again. Am I getting a soft fall? Just a little soft fall. Like in our promo videos where you start to see it swoosh. See, it's kind of swooshing, yeah. Yeah. Falling rainbow snow. We're marinating the steak. Okay, there, see? Now I'm getting fuller coverage on the brush and the bristles are getting a bit more usable, but still rigid enough. Like there's a balance. It does sound like I'm contradicting myself. Before it was like way too like flimsy, like they kind of just were fucked. But now a new brush can be too rigid at first, so you kind of want to pre-soak it a little bit. There's like a sweet spot for like the right amount of bristle flexibility. Okay, let's paint. Challenge accepted. Now for the test. I'm gonna show you the bottle. So see, now I'm getting fuller coverage glitter come out of the bottle. We need a close-up of that one because it's so pretty. All right, did we save her? See, that looks good. That's a good bottleneck swipe. She's fluid, but she's still got the coverage, right? I feel like we might have overdid it, but then there was a bristle swap that really helped, and then some marination. So there's a few different techniques we use, but this is looking much closer to the original product intention, where you're gonna get a load of glitter on the brush, but it's like swipeable. And I'm not getting stringing. Check. Let's test on the nail. She's always pretty, even when she's dried, so that's not the test. Much smoother. Yes. Okay. You know what? Let's paint her on my actual nail, because just painting on a white swatch stick is less helpful. Ready? I wore a plain creme also thinking like then I could paint a glitter on and you know, it'd kind of be fun. But let's test it on my real nail here. Let's get that in the shot. So with glitter, you want to do a little shimmy shake, but also make sure your brush is coated. There, not sticky, but also still packed, right? Because Holo Taco's glitter formulas are still packed. This is a full coverage glitter that I would generally recommend you do 2 to 3 coats. Right now it's kind of just like looks like a topper, but I'm still getting really good coverage as intended by the product in 1 coat after adding like an unmeasurable amount of thinner. And I think we've successfully saved this guy. 6 years old. Stunning. It actually looks really pretty if you just put 1 coat of rainbow snow over baby blue. Like it's kind of lighter and softer than Frostlight. just for reference. New nail spo idea just dropped. Just one coat of rainbow snow over skipping stones. That's so Elsa. That's a pretty winter. And then you would put on a glossy taco, blah, blah, blah. We did it. Okay, that was fun. I probably don't need to demo saving all these guys because there's probably exactly the same, but I will just add thinner into all of them, and then maybe at the end of a gaming stream we can, you know, reassess them. But we won't do all the work. We'll just add thinner. That's the easy part. The easy part is adding the nail polish thinner. The hard part is if it's so dried up, it's like this, you can open it and it doesn't spill out, then you're gonna need to do some shaking and some mixing around. So we'll do the lazy part, and we'll do 3 at a time. It's like making 3 martinis at once. I've used, well, this bottle wasn't full when I started, but I think I've used like 30% of this so far, which you probably don't need to do because you're not gonna let your nail polish get this far, right? Yeah, you're gonna do casual maintenance where you only need like, I don't know, 3 to 8 drops on average, not 87. I'm not counting, I'm just squirting. These aren't even drops anymore. This is just a squirt line. A little more, sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Okay, perfect. I'm perfect. Anyone have any questions about glitter? Do we like glitter? Do we want more glitter? Are you, actually, let's redo the poll that I have done multiple times. These aren't gonna mix themselves, but let's do a poll because I do like to reassess the population. You know, the sample is always different. Do you wear glitter nail polish? And I'm gonna write yes. Where's my music always dying? Here we go. Yes. No, I don't like taking it off. Does that fit? Yes. Okay. No, I don't like the bling or type. Okay. Now, I understand 2 of these might be true for you, but you just have to pick the one that most suits you. I don't wear nail polish. Okay. So I'm going to run a poll and I'll tell you I'll explain the categories as I wear. Do you wear glitter polish at all? Is that something you would reach for? If yes, put yes. If you don't wear glitter nail polish, is it because you just can't be bothered with taking it off? Glitter nail polish is more annoying to take off because of the size of the glitter. The like larger hex glitter, it just means hexagon. It's just the shape of the glitter. It can require like scrubbing sometimes with acetone or nail polish remover, or you need a stronger acetone, like 100%, instead of just like your average nail polish remover that has a bunch of oil or whatever in it. So some people don't like the process of removing it because it is typically harder. Some people don't like glitter because it's too blingy, and maybe that's just not your style. Maybe you're more of a linear holo, or like you like cremes, right? Maybe it doesn't work for your work. Like you could never wear glitter polish to work, or it's just not your style. Or you don't like applying glitter polish because it requires a little finessey. So there's all sorts of reasons, and hey, no judgment. Like if you can't wear glitter nail polish to work or whatever, then that's totally fine, or you just don't like it. I'm just interested in the reasons. And not applicable, don't wear nail polish. Please choose that option. This chat is looking more yes than the last poll results. So what is going on here? Did I like summon the glitter lovers by accident? Do I have an unrepresentative sample here of glitter lovers? Because 86% of you are saying you wear glitter polish. But that's absolutely not the results we've seen previously. Because that category of no, I don't like taking it off was definitely over 10%. It was probably closer to 20. I'd have to check my notes. But this is much more split, or not split, but disproportionate than I recall. Interesting. Maybe this is kind of a self-selected population. When they see the title, can I bring old crusty nail polish? Everyone's like, oh, that's my glitter. And then that's why you guys are here. This is a bias sample. Only the glitter people are here. There's always an explanation, right? Data nerds. There's always some context into the results. You can't just accept results for what they are. You have to also say why they aren't necessarily true or accurate. All right. The truth is that glitter lovers banded together and killed the haters. Oh, is that what happened? I was not informed. Beynnn! Is that my tea? Thanks, Beynnn.
Shake it.
Shake it. I'm not gonna shake this. It's gonna go everywhere.
Shake it.
That was like old times. You just passed it over the camera, which was so unnecessary. You could have just come around. That's good. I needed that. It smells in here, so this is nice. All right, let's close this poll. Interesting. Even though that it's 8 plus 3, that's still 11% of people. I mean, we didn't really exclude the NA population, but there's still a proportion of people who just aren't gonna get into glitter, which is something that I have acknowledged in the past. It's something, to be quite honest, which I have shared already, that we do see in our sales data at Holo Taco. Even when we keep the glitters in stock all year, like some of our glitters have been around, like Rainbow Snow, and you compare that to a shade that was released around a similar timeline that is now an older SKU. So it doesn't have like a recency newness factor bias, because people do purchase new stuff more frequently than older stuff in the catalog. But when you control for all those factors and you try and control for color, glitters just sell worse, in my experience at Holo Taco, which is so sad, because like I like them. They're very sparkly, and I only do holo glitter. Well, not say only, but like generally speaking, you know, if you get a glitter from me, it's holo. And I think the reasons are, like Chad is suggesting, glitter is annoying to remove. That's one of them, yes. But it lasts longer on nails for some people, unless you're wearing peely base, but that's a contradiction. So it makes it worth it, plus sparkle. Glitter does last longer on people typically because it's just like heavy and it's sticking there, which is why it's hard to remove. Not sure if this helps, but I paint 1 coat of creme or a chrome polish and then use glitter over it. It makes it easier to remove. So you could do exactly what we did here, where I put 1 coat of our Revive Rainbow Snow over top of Skipping Stones. I mean, isn't that why Holo Taco was created? Not necessarily to release just glitter polish, but it was to release specialty effects polish, which can include glitter, but also like linear holo, shimmers, iridescent, toppers, all the things that you don't typically see in the drugstore was kind of my mission statement. Ultimately, like any company wants to release what people will buy, right? Otherwise, like, what is all your work and efforts going to if people aren't interested, or a small proportion of people are interested? I wear glitter, but less frequently because commitment. Okay, so people have commitment issues with glitter. I hear you. Peely base is the answer. I get that means your nails are gonna pop off easier, but it's up to you to weigh the factors. So Peely Base is a base coat that we have at Holo Taco. Peel off base coats have existed for as long as I can remember, but I love them, so I can specifically wear glitter and then just pop it off. Also, I'm a swatcher, so it's very helpful for me to be able to pop off my nail polish or peel it off. But if you hate removing glitter so much, then maybe you can get on board for like an evening out or whatever if you use Peely Base first. That does mean that your nail polish is more likely to pop off because that's the point of that product, but it's kind of like an experience thing. Like over time, you can learn tricks to have Peely Base work, but like not as well, so that you can keep the nail polish on. Some people refer to that as the moat method. It basically means leaving a border around your nail that doesn't have Peely Base, like painting Peely Base, but not to the edge. So there's different tricks, and it's kind of like with makeup. You first use an eyeliner. Think back to the first time you put on eyeliner, and you just like drew it weird, and it didn't like look the best. But over time, you realize like, okay, I do this technique, or maybe I warm it up, or maybe I shave it down a little bit, or whatever. Like you kind of over time and experience just realize what works for you and hear tricks from other people. That's Peely Base, and a lot of things that I've kind of talked about in this stream just comes from experience and experimenting. How much nail polish thinner do I need? What do I do to shake it up? And it really is just like getting in there, hearing someone's tips, seeing how it works for you, and then reassessing. But I don't think anyone's really wrong here. There's no wrong answer in how you apply Peely Base coat, unless you're putting it on top of your manicure. That makes literally no sense. Then you are wrong. But for the most part, like, yeah, some people want to put it on their whole nail. Some people just do the moat method. Some people would rather just scrub off glitter. Up to you. Just, try different methods and see what will make it worth it to you. I got the nail soak clips they make getting glitter polish remover. Yes, so people can do the soak off method, which if you don't buy clips, there's also a hack that's been around for years where you take a cotton ball, you soak it in acetone, you put it on your finger, and you basically create a clamp with tinfoil. So you just rip a piece of tinfoil off and then like kind of cast your finger. And then you just leave it there. You just look like you have tinfoil hands. Leave that on for 10 minutes and then apply pressure and pull it off. And that can help remove the glitter. There's also other methods, like if you have a dried glitter mani on that you've had on for like a week, just paint a coat of any creme nail polish, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just pick a lighter color, I guess, in case, so it doesn't run on your skin. And then you've re-wet the glitter, and then you take your acetone and your remover and kind of pull it off. So that technique just relies on the extra layer of fresh nail polish is just re-wetting the glitter pigments, which can help to pull it off. Lots of hacks, lots of tricks out there. So honestly, like, you could Google how to remove glitter nail polish. There's so many fantastic content out there. Personally, I just like Peely Base. I just like to pop that shit off. It's also kind of satisfying. Can we stave off crustiness by adding a drop of thinner to polish after every use, or is that excessive? That's a really good question. My gut answer is that's not necessary. I don't think it's necessary to do that every time, and I wouldn't want you to just do that without like real evidence that is like, this is the way to preserve your nail polish for life. I do think every formula behaves differently. Some nail polishes might benefit from doing that every time, like maybe glitter, but others might not. So I don't think you need to do that. I would really only add thinner when you're noticing that the brush is kind of pulling the formula. If you're getting like a string, or it's just applying and it's too thick, then you would add a couple drops and assess. I do that for my Glossy Taco. Actually, Glossy Taco might be the one, because it's a quick dry formula, because it's a top coat. Your Glossy Tacos are gonna dry out faster as more air comes in the bottle as you use the product than probably your average nail polish pigmented formula because it's also designed to dry quickly. So that's another like misconception, is like people think glossy tacos are bad if they're getting sticky or stringy in the bottle when it's half used, or not even half used, earlier than that. To me, it's actually just a sign that it's a good quick drying product. Because I've also had much more waterier, liquidier top coats from the drugstore over the years that never do that. Like I'll get to the bottom and it'll be this, I'm talking like 10 years ago, but I would get to the bottom, it'll never dry out. But then I used another top coat that was actually way more effective and realized, oh, it's never drying out because it's also just not really a good quick dry top coat. So it kind of comes with the territory. In my experience, like even before Holo Taco, I kind of noticed that the better top coats that dried quicker do dry out faster in the bottle. And that is just because they're better quick dries. Does that make sense? So again, just like glitter and it being super packed, is I would rather a product that is just more effective at drying quickly, because to me that's like a better experience. And it mean, yeah, I gotta add some thinner sometimes, than a thin, watery top coat that I don't even realize isn't as good as quick dry because I'm not comparing it to anything. I do feel like I'm adding some thinner to my glossy taco more often than not. Yeah, I found my rhythm with glossy taco and I've learned to use it in a way that I love. Why does this sound like I don't know, some it feels like such a heartfelt statement for just like, we're talking about top coat here. I'm using it in a way that I love. I appreciate it, Uma. Yes, love like glossy taco. Simply ignored me. Simply is not telling me what's on her other hand. I'm just testing something. She's just simply testing. What? I've always wondered if it's okay to add fresh glossy taco to an old one. Yes, we covered that about an hour ago. It is not just okay, it is advised. Because then you have less air in the bottle. Less chance for the product to dry out. As long as it's the same top coat. Like, don't do two different brands, just in case that doesn't really work. But yes, that's very okay. Okay. I have these guys. I think I am gonna shake them and then I'm gonna let them sit, but we won't do the full mix. And then I want to talk about cremes or toppers. Like, we have different categories to try and thin. Let me just put that on shake mode. You can't hear that, right? As long as my mic's over here. Is there any way to give a quick 1-minute summary of all the info? I just joined. Welcome on in, Tessa. So I'll have my editor make some shorts of this. That's my plan. So there'll be some 60-second YouTube shorts or TikToks on this as well. But yeah, is anyone taking notes? Does anyone want to share their notes in Simply React? If you would be so kind to share your notes, just like I took notes last night in my Martini class. What are the high-level notes? After class, feel free to share your notes. It's good practice. I learned a lot today. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's shake this one up next. Can you thin base coats? Typically, yes. So for Holo Taco, you can use our nail polish thinner in all of our base coats except for Peely Base. And that's because Peely Base is just like not even really a nail polish formula. It's a water-based, so it's just very different. So there's an inconsistency there because it doesn't really behave well or work with the nail polish thinner formula. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Shake it off. Could you thin peely base with water? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Personally, I don't find like me thinking, oh, my peely base is thick. I think if you leave it open, yeah, like you can kind of get a clump. Occasionally I'll get a clump at the end of the brush and then I can kind of just pull it off. Kind of like the way liquid latex behaves, similar. But I don't find peely base to be like something that thickens that much over time. You can't, I've done it. Shadowcat claims they've tried and it didn't work. All right. Can we get a bat glitter topper, please? Would you be okay with it even if the bats fall down? Even if they fall down to the side and aesthetically it doesn't look as pretty and then you worry that you have to shake it? Because that's what happens with bat glitters specifically, because they were just heavier than some of our other options, like the flower in Garden Party Taco. Speaking of that, let's do her. Toppers. What happens when they get thick? This is Holo Taco's Garden Party Taco. There's our new label. This is our current label that you would find whether you pick it up at Ulta or on our web store. These are our new labels now. So professional, so like real, you know what I mean? Crazy. All right. But this is not that old of a topper. It's only from a couple months ago, but I've used up over half of this bottle doing swatches or by pouring it out, fishing out the flowers when I was making the content for this launch. So this is a heavily used topper. I'd say it's like I've got 30% left in the bottle. So it's gotten very thick. And that's in part because I had it open for quite a while I was either fishing or swatching. And because of the nature of the glitters in here, the more glitter or the larger the pieces of glitter sometimes, the more the product can kind of dry up because heavy glitter likes to eat the liquid in it. So this is too thick to apply as is. Let's demo that. But I want you guys to be able to save your toppers. So even if you've used up this much, I'm going to show you how you can restore it back to life, even if there's not much left in the bottle. But here, so it's not the worst, like it isn't as thick as Rainbow Snow was, but it definitely needs some help because see how it's like, it's taking longer to travel than I would like. I don't want to actually pour it out on here. But it needs, actually here, this is an example of something that just needs a little bit of thinner. This does not need as much thinner where I was just squirting without measuring. Okay, because it's still viscous. I'm still getting some movement, but it's just kind of stuck down there. And I do think a little bit of thinner would help because I'm getting a little bit of stringing. Here, I will force the stringing so I can show you what I mean. So there was one. See, it's like slightly goopy, but not unusable. You might just like use this and not really see a problem with it. But if you really want best results and the flowing of the polish or the topper and the even distribution of larger glitters like this one, this is like kind of a more unique example because it has those larger glitters, then adding a little bit of thinner to help everything mix together a bit more evenly is also an added benefit. So she's not far gone at all. So we're just gonna add a couple drops of thinner and then evaluate. I wouldn't want to overdo it on this one. When the bottle says a few drops, I always measure freely with my heart. I hear you, but it depends on the context. This one is not that old of a product. it's still like allowing me to pick up almost nicely. So I really don't want to overdo this one. However, that 6-year-old glitter, that's different. She can handle it. So let's just do maybe 5 drops. 3, 4, 5. Notice I am dropping, not unhinged squirting. We've got our nail polish thinner, which does work in top coats. This works in all of our toppers, special effects, or regular glassy taco. Then you're gonna cap it back. It also would help, like you would take this opportunity to clean the neck. And because she's still kind of fluid, I can easily shake this one or roll it around. Oh, actually, you can kind of see the mixing balls. See those little metal balls? There they are. The mixing balls help all the glitters mix around. So mixing balls are even more important when you have larger glitters. I mean, they're important in any pigment, but I find with like larger glitters, they help kick them around like a soccer ball. I'm not going to use the machine. I don't think it's necessary because I'm getting nice fluid movement here. So see how it's kind of falling up and down? That's what I want from my toppers. Now, sometimes you're going to have the heavier pigments or shapes in this case stick on the side. That's just what happens. They're just kind of chilling there. But I know that on the inside of the bottle, there's still a lot of flowers floating around. But you can use the balls to kind of trace the sides and kind of captivate them. Kind of drag them down. See? And then they slowly start falling into the mix. It's kind of just pretty to watch. Now you know why I love my job, when I just get to watch falling glitter, which I watched a lot of that recently. I approved all of the content. I was like, this is all absolutely stunning. I'll be here all day just watching this on loop, even though I already approved it. What? Okay, let's use it. How do you clean the neck? You take a loofah and you go like this. You have a shower. No, okay. You I just use paper towel, not Kleenex because it's too dusty, but I use paper towel. Here, why don't I just do it? Paper towel. Acetone. I prefer 100%. Tastes better. No, it's just I don't want oils or other stuff going in the bottle. I just do just a tiny little soak. Just a little. And then you kind of go like this. I would wear a glove or something so you don't have to like unnecessarily get it on your other hand. But you just kind of scrub off the top. You don't want to put acetone in the nail polish. So to be clear, that was just like a tiny bit just to wipe, get the glitter out of the little neck grooves. And you can do a better job than me, but this is just for demonstration purposes. You can kind of, you want to scrub along the sides. You can also use a toothpick to kind of carve it out if it's really super stuck. But that's best practice to keeping it clean so that it's easier to uncap and so there's less chance of it drying out over time. Okay, recap. Another little shake, just why not? Force of habit. Get lint-free wipes from the hardware store. You could do that too. I just use paper towel. I find it better than like a cotton pad that kind of, the cottons come everywhere. The cottons, or you know what I mean. The little, the fluffs. And Kleenex is too fluffy too. So I just use rigid paper towel. Here, let's paint it over this blue so you can actually see. But this is my 30% full garden party taco. Now, because I want flowers, I'm kind of laying it down to get some on the brush. That's kind of a hack when your bottle's at like 30%. And there. She's applying just like new. If you want to place flowers, I'd recommend getting like a toothpick, and then you can place them where you want. But the point of this was she's applying fresh. The glitters are evenly assorted, evenly distributed, not assorted, in the bottle. It will get trickier to use a topper with a larger pigment as there's just less. That's just, it's gonna be harder to like fish out, but that's why I like kind of went sideways, let it get on the brush, and then tipped it back over. If you're obsessed with Garden Party Taco and you have multiple of them, then this would be a great opportunity to share the bottles, like put two that are half empty together, just like the glossy taco method. I just suspect that's like probably a very uncommon use case scenario, unless you're like so obsessed with these flowers you need them on your nails every day and you use it as often as glossy taco. It could be. There could be someone out there. My first live stream. Just got your 1 coat black and I'm in love. Thanks, Metal Babe. That's very fitting, Metal Babe. You know, you like black. I'm also wearing 1 coat black and something else that I'm testing. But 1 coat black is my favorite topper. I shouldn't confuse the new person. That's not fair. That's not fair. 1 coat black is so pigmented that I routinely use it to cover up nail polish that's unreleased. So I just paint on a coat of 1 coat black when I like don't want to show a prototype. That's its best selling feature. It can literally cover up your secrets. I don't have that many secrets. I just end up telling you guys anyways, right? All right, next formula. I also had a Linear Holo Taco, which isn't that bad. It's super old. Like, it is literally so old that this was a prototype. The same product, but like this is back before we were even that fancy and had like, you know, printed labels. But this is a prototype of Linear Holo Taco that just looks very thick. It's still a little bit viscous, but I could tell like that's not optimal. Like it could use a little bit of help. It's not totally solid. It's still, a linear holo is probably not a super likely formula to dry up like the way we just saw those glitters. This is so normal for glitters, but linear holo is a very, very tiny pigment that's not even technically a glitter. It just refracts rainbows in a similar way as some holographic glitters. This is moving, but it's moving a little slowly. Like it's too sludgy. So that's why I'm like, it could be a contender for this. So let's add a little bit. I'll kind of show you what I mean first. So no, this product is not far gone, even though this is probably 7 years old because it's a prototype for Linear, which we released in 2019. So this is probably 7 years old. But I guess it's just the product type doesn't really necessitate having thinner in it all the time. But yeah, like it's not that bad. It's just a little sludgy. And my concern with a topper that is sludgy is that as you're painting, even if it's like, this is paintable, I would say, I don't think the pigments are going to be as evenly distributed. And that really matters for something like Linear because you want that uniform wash of linear pigment so you get that perfect rainbow flare. So that's why I would like, maybe this one could use just a couple drops of thinner to help make sure that we're not sluggish. You just need like a little shot of espresso. There's a couple drops. There's also a lot of product in this bottle, so from a product to thinner ratio, it's not that crazy to add like 8 drops because this is almost not quite full. I guess I was doing quite a bit of testing to lose 10 to 20%. See, holo is not glitter. Tell that to my bosses. Do we not all know this? Who do I need to yell at? Glitter is not holo. That is correct. That'll be on the test. Glitter can be holo. Holo Taco often releases glitter that is holographic in nature because it refracts rainbows. But there's other types of holo. There's crushed holo. There's linear holo. Whoa. Almost died. But linear holo is the smallest of the pigments. And see how in specific lighting, here in my flash, you're gonna get that very tight rainbow flare. So that's why it's referred to as linear, because it's like rainbows in a line. I'm trying to get you a good angle. I should probably go on this side. There. So holo also needs phone flash or sunshine to see it. There. So it's hard because gravity's working against me now, but you are gonna get those beautiful, stunning, tighter rainbow flares in a linear polish, a holo linear polish, whereas a holo glitter polish, and these are both the same color, they're both silver, you're gonna have rainbows, but they're larger pieces of rainbow because that's the glitter, right? This was not a seminar on what is holo, but here we are. We love a good detour. Happy to explain. Before I apply linear, I'm gonna put it on one coat black. Should I put in my holographic will that I want to be buried in a holo glitter coffin? You could try. I don't know if your executor will do it. You know, it's kind of up to them. When you die, your executor basically gets to decide, and they don't always have to follow your exact wishes if they think they are unreasonable or unhinged, or even if they just don't like you, they could not follow your wishes. Yeah, isn't that crazy? All right, I'm painting on some one coat black. Where's that chatter who said it was their first time and they love one coat black? This is why we love one coat black. Damn, done. One coat. No marketing necessary. Just watch. So I just let that dry before we put our new refreshed linear on. I'm kind of impressed. Like, I got this off the shelf thinking like, oh yeah, that looks thick, that needs help. But then I don't think it needed that much help. That's crazy because this is so old. Anyways. All right, you're gonna watch one coat black dry while I pee. I will be right back and we'll add that linear holo taco. I will run an ad while I pee. And BRB. Refill your tea, get your water. Add nail polish thinner to your glossy taco. We're back. Did you add nail polish thinner to your glossy taco? All right. Right back into Linear. Now let's paint some revived, refreshed, restored Linear Holo Taco, although she didn't need that much help, on 1 coat black. But see, what I would be looking for is also the uniformity of the pigment distribution. Oops, I think I painted a little speck of something in there. That was my bad. A little speck of dust. You can't really see. But for something like Linear, it may not be a product that thickens just that much because of its formula, but sometimes Linear can stick to the side. So adding thinner can help loosen it up. Just make sure you're getting maximum amount of equally distributed holo as possible with every stroke. So I want you to have that experience and maximize your holo potential. Why do I sound like one of those fucking entrepreneurs who are like, maximize your earning potential with Linear Holo Taco? Okay. But see what I mean? See how those tiny little hollow dots are like nice and even, and you're getting that rainbow flare. That's what you want to make sure of. Love a good Linear Holo Taco. And this is also how to make any nail polish holographic. In case you are new here, literally just put this on to any boring creme. That's why Holo Taco exists, actually. That's kind of what we started as, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess there's a few reasons, but just adding a Holo Taco, you can put it over whatever creme you have at home. You're boring Sally Hansen. I mean, Sally. We don't know Hansen, just Sally. I mean, you are an entrepreneur, right? I guess so. I just don't identify with that term. I guess I've been like brainwashed into thinking that like the word entrepreneur also means like you're kind of an asshole. It's like so unfair of me. I acknowledge that. But I don't know. That's probably just a me problem. Thank you for the stream. I am so relaxed. Nice. We all collectively put some thinner in our brains and now we're just feeling good. We're just feeling chill. Or a scam artist? Yeah, I think that's what it is. There's just so many entrepreneurs who are scam artists. There's also a lot of not scam artist entrepreneurs. Relax. But like, I don't know. I just like the how to make money online in 10 easy steps is what pops into my head. And I'm just like, oh my God. Is that Linear over 1 coat black? Yes. Same, I own a small business and it's so uncomfortable when people call me an entrepreneur. Yeah, because of the stigma of aggressive bros in suits. It kind of is, but to me it's not even just aggressive bros. It's just like, even like women in MLMs, you know, like all of it. I don't like a lot of the lore, the discourse that comes along with the word entrepreneur, and a lot of the people who repeatedly call themselves entrepreneurs, like they take every opportunity to be like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, it's kind of like, it's a red flag. Not saying it once. Okay, I'm not insulting all people who've said that at one point, but just using that always as your hook. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. Now listen to what I'm gonna say. Like, it's like, okay, what's really going on? I don't know. Serial entrepreneurs, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. You too can make money selling on Amazon, right? Like, I'm getting content delivered to me about how to make money selling on Amazon. And I imagine a lot of you are too. What in the algorithm? I already make money selling on Amazon. That's what affiliate links are for. I've had them for 10 years. I just find it funny. There's other new ways to make money on Amazon too. I've seen it all. You too can make money selling cereal. Okay, we're sidetracking, but this is kind of relevant to my Martini class. So we're coming back in a full circle. One thing I've seen like fall in my algorithm is specifically, maybe this is tailored to me, how to make money on Amazon by buying and reselling drink syrups. So this woman would be like, I made $10,000 in the last 3 months by going to Target, was it Home Goods? Like list other American discount stores where you can go and buy those bottle syrups, like the syrups you put in a drink, like a slushie. Maybe there's like vanilla flavor or cotton candy, like coffee syrups. Okay, they buy them when they find them at a discount for like $2. Okay, it's on like the clearance shelf, and then they start an Amazon store and they sell it for $10.99 to whoever the fuck will buy it. And then yeah, like they have to worry about their own shipping and distribution, but there's services out there that make that easier. And then they just like resell syrups that they found at TJ Maxx to like whoever's, you know, lazy and on Amazon and just wants to buy the syrup. Anyways, she's like telling this whole business model about how she did it. And I'm like, wow, this is so crazy. I'm not gonna do it, but this is crazy. Yeah, it really makes you question, like, who am I buying from on Amazon? That's what I took away with that. Some of you will take away, wow, I'm gonna do that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna copy that. Others will be like, wait a second, what am I buying from Amazon? How do I know it's an even legit product or hasn't been tampered with? That was my first question. This explains a lot to BH. Yeah. Resellers. Yeah. There's a lot of risk in that if you're a brand. That's why we have no resellers. If someone's reselling our product, it's not per our authorization. I mean, that's not the only reason, but that's a really good reason. If you have your own business with your own brand, there's risks for, you know, the quality and the customer experience with your product if you are going to have it go through resellers, and there's counterfeiting issues or people tampering with it or just bad, whatever. Ulta's not a reseller. That's a retailer. Two very different things. They're not reselling our product that they've found at a discount. Those aren't the same things. Being in retail is not a reseller, in my understanding. You've seen Holo Taco on Amazon? That is illegal. Call my lawyer. Like, that's an Amazon reseller doing it, which doesn't even make any sense, because like how are you gonna make a profit? Like, how? Because you probably paid full price, or maybe your Holo Royalty and got 20% off, but like, okay, it doesn't seem worth it to me. But they sell us Holo Taco with zeros? Yeah, because they're trying to get around it. We've had to do like takedowns from Amazon before. It's just, yeah, a frustrating part. But the reality of having a business that is successful, where people know your brand name, they want to copy it and make money. Amazon lets that happen, yeah. And then you, as the brand owner or copyright or trademark, whatever it is, holder, have to then send them a letter from a lawyer, and it's like, take it down. Sometimes they still don't care. If it makes them money, they don't necessarily care. But we have done takedowns with our legal letterhead, like from our lawyer, when they were selling Holo It's Me shirts that like weren't even our product. They were like someone else just making and printing them. And then they did take it down, but it required us like proving our trademarks, which not everyone has trademarks, because trademarks can cost tens of thousands of dollars and years of time to register. But like, we literally had to send trademarks information and pay lawyers to write all this just to like have Amazon listen to us and take it down. It's fucking crazy. Anyways, we have done takedowns. That sounds so rar. Yeah, take it down. It's so expensive to just like make sure people aren't abusing your brand or your rights. It's crazy. The lawyers win in all cases. All right. Let's thin a creme. This is another category, another class. Sometimes creme polishes need some thinner love too, okay? It's not just about glitters or toppers that will, yes, those can dry up quicker, but creme polish, just like any other nail polish, here's an example of separation, which is also very normal. Creme polish, just like other polish, can benefit from some thinner, especially if the product is formulated more thick to begin with, which Holo Taco cremes are generally on the thicker side. And that's because I want you to have as close to full coverage as possible, as much pigment packed in the bottle as possible, instead of a creme that takes 6 coats to be opaque. No, thank you. Especially when it comes to black or white. But that comes with the unintended consequence of it just thickening more easy, because it is literally a thicker product, and that's on purpose. And everyone has a preference, which is okay. Sometimes I've occasionally seen a customer say that they thought the product was a bit too thick upon receipt, which could be a few things. It could be like a problem, like maybe that was part of a batch that wasn't mixed. Like, I acknowledge, of course, there's always a small margin of error and some customer service that we will absolutely do. Sometimes it is just a personal level of preference where the product was intended to be a bit thicker, and that was maybe because, you know, it was packed with flakes or something. And that's just how it is. Maybe you're not used to a thicker product. So that's where nail polish thinner can come in and just help you thin it down to exactly the way you want to apply it. Just don't put too much, because then it's going to be runny. So let's take a look at this Not Milky White. That isn't from our first batch, I can tell from the label. So this one is not 5 years old, but it's probably a few years old, right? So there's still movement in the product. You can still see it's separated, but it's not fully dried out or anything. But I bet you if I open this, it's not gonna be ideal to just go in like this. Hold on, it's gotta focus on the white. It's too bright. Okay, hold on, let me back up. So while not dried up, right now my brush is going through 2 layers. It's going through the thicker pigment layer, which is a little sludgier, and then as it's traveling up, it's going through a more liquid layer that's very thin. And if I were to paint this on right now, I'm gonna paint over the Linear Holo and kill it. I know that's sacrilegious, but it's not perfectly blended, is the thing I'm trying to prove here. It's kind of like oil and water. You know when you get like a layer of oil that kind of like rises to the top, or is it the other way around? Fuck, I don't remember. That's what can kind of happen in nail polish over time. You have part of the suspension base, like the clear fluid, rising to the top, and then you have the heavy pigments that create the color sitting at the bottom, and you need to mix those together. But that can also cause thickening or just be part of thickening. So not only do I need to give this a good shake, but I think it would benefit from a little bit of thinner, because that giant chunk of white pigment has just been sitting there for so long that I'm gonna add a little bit of thinner. Christine, that hurt. I know. She was kind of milky. The milky is not the problem though. It's the evenness. Sorry, the milk's not the problem. Let me rephrase. The opacity, yes, our Not Milky White is generally on the thicker side. However, it's still formulated to allow you to, it should be like a 2-coater. It's not a 1-coater. It's never marketed as a 1-coater. That is white out, okay? Because it should still be usable and easy enough to apply. And if it was any thicker, it would not be. So I'm just gonna do 5 drops. We're gonna shake that up. And our nail polish thinner from Holo Taco works with all of our formulas, including cremes, glitters, linear holos, flakes, polishes, toppers, top coats, glossy taco, everything except for peely base, because that's not really a nail polish. It's a water-based solution that peels. Now, I don't have another black, but we can paint her on. Let's see if you can still see. See how that's more even? Here, I should probably put it over black, to be fair. Okay, we are scientists. Just give that 1 minute. Are we learning things today, or like, did you guys already know this? I feel like I need to do an exit poll. Was this class useful? What about smoothing base? Yes, you can use this with smoothing base. The only thing you can't use Holo Taco nail polish thinner within Holo Taco products, nail polish or top and base coats, is peely base, because it is not really a nail polish. It's a water-based, totally different formula that peels off. Yes, I knew the majority, but it's nice to get a refresher. I bought Left on Red, but it was thicker than that. But the bottle was too full for thinner. Oh, that's a great point. I understand she likes the formula with high opacity, but it was annoying. Glad it's a self-leveling formula. That's good feedback, Roxanne. That does make sense. Yeah, if you get a full product, then there's not really any room. I suppose the solution there is just to, you know, scoop out just a little bit. Like, just go like this and put some in a paper towel and then dispose of it. And then add a couple drops of thinner. You should really only need like 3 to 5 drops in a new full bottle of nail polish. So you don't need that much room. I wouldn't like empty out half your bottle. Don't do that. But like literally just like do this like 3 times and then you would have enough room. And typically you shouldn't need that much thinner, if any, for a brand new nail polish. That being said, there's always an exception. With maybe it's a batch thing. There's always going to be a margin of error there. And also personal preference. Some people just don't like it. And maybe some general advice, like for troubleshooting related reasons, is if you get a nail polish that feels kind of thick when you first start to open it, is just give it a good shake. Like, it's possible that nail polish was sitting on the production, not production shelf, but like the warehouse shelf for like, I don't know, a month or 2. So it was kind of like stabilizing, and maybe shipping didn't shake it around too much. Shocking. But giving a product a new shake, a good shake, making sure the mixing balls, you can hear them moving around. If after you do all that, like it's still very thick, then yeah, if it's a new product, of course, you have every right to contact customer service, let them know. But if you're just more in a personal troubleshooting mood, and just kind of want to make it to your exact preference, then you could just easily like dab out a couple drops just to make some room, and then add a little bit of thinner, shake it up again. Hopefully that's good enough. It does depend on how you like your nail polish. Yeah. I've always liked mine thicker, and that's because I'm prioritizing the quality, the coverage, and the value of pigment. I would rather like give me all the good stuff and I will decide if I want to thin it out. You know what I mean? Like, give me the buffet and then I'll decide how much I want to eat at the all-you-can-eat buffet. All right, let's paint wait, maybe I'll just do a quick little reshake again. When I learned about thinner, I went and bought 6 Holo Taco ones and gave it to the whole family. Oh, we died. Hold on. Let me... Battery change! we're back. Elgato at it again. Oh yeah, that's just like the screen for it's dead. Where is your input feed? All right, so here is slightly refreshed, maybe 5 years old, Not Milky White creme. Now I'm gonna paint it over one coat black just so we can see. So see, it's just way more even. And that's really the difference. So even though when we first looked at the bottle, I'm like, yeah, it's moving around, I could shake it. But adding just a tiny bit of thinner just helps refresh it. It's like if you ever get your hair dyed, sometimes you don't need like a full dye job, but you just need that like hair gloss refresher. I don't know, does that make any sense? And just like gives it a nice little gloss, but it's not necessarily redoing everything. That's how I kind of see thinner, just like a little bit of maintenance, a little refreshy-eshy. So these two are the comparisons. Don't be distracted by that. These are both over black, but you can tell that this just applied way more uniformly than that, which was pre-thinner and also pre-shaking, to be fair. This was pre-shaking because I was trying to demonstrate like when the brush goes through the thick layer and then the thin layer, it's almost like a weird oil water thing and like it's not gonna apply evenly. That is insane coverage. That is pretty good. But that wasn't even the point of this exercise. But the thinner helps the product go on smoother, as long as you don't put too much and thin it out too much. But just the right amount, like, helps the little pigments work together. Like, they're like, woo, we're grooving. Yeah, we're gliding together. They're just like singing a song and dance. She's not milky again. Woohoo! Love educational streams, Shrimply. Thank you, Small Toe Bean. My fave learned takeaway. Polishes tend to be thicker with bigger things in them. Correct. Like glitter and flakies. Correct. Makes sense, but I hadn't logically put it together before. Yes. That is precisely the point. To be quite honest, like one of my hesitations with doing a glitter like garden party taco was the customer experience feeling more likely to be frustrated, because a product like this is going to be a little bit trickier. It's a bit trickier to fish things out if you like have this expectation that all the flowers magically appear in a specific order. Then like that would not be realized, because that's not how this works. Or it drying out easier because there's chunky pieces of glitter, or with our super packed like OG style glitter polishes, it is more challenging for people to kind of get on board with it. And if a customer, like think this applies to anything. If a customer decides like a product doesn't work, and it could be for like a fair lack of education, they just develop a negative idea of the entire brand, right? Not always, but like I'm sure we've all done it without even realizing it. Like you buy a sunscreen or something. Wait, no, that's a bad example because that's like bad example. What's another good example? I'm trying to think. Nail polish is the easiest one. How about a type of, no, self tanner. Okay, this is relevant because I just tried it on my leg. Say you buy self tanner and you've never used self tanner before. You're like, what is this? Okay. And there are instructions that does say exfoliate and moisturize before, but maybe it doesn't like fully detail like what that means, how you should do it, how long you should wait between. So like you kind of do it, but you don't really know the best practices. And then you put on the self tanner, and then the next day it's all streaky. And then you leave a review and you're like, this product is so streaky, it's trash. Now, maybe it is trash. Or maybe there's like some things that had you had that education that would have improved its application, and it's maybe not the streakiest product at all, and it's like really good. Maybe had you known about exfoliating and using a specific type of exfoliator and how to exfoliate, and it doing so 24 hours before you apply moisturizing, and then you moisturize with an oil-free moisturizer instead of an oil, which can like block how the self tanner works. And then all these like other little things that you didn't necessarily know, because it's just like a lot to say and read and follow from the brand, and it kind of goes outside of the breadth of the product they're even providing. But maybe there's a bunch of things that if you learned, or there was like practice involved, and then you try the product again and it's really good and it's not streaky. So I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes we develop an opinion of a product upon our first use and don't really troubleshoot it. We just decide, I don't like it, you know? And that's totally fair in some cases. I'm not saying like everything should be reevaluated, but there's certainly in cosmetics, I think, a lot of room for personal experience, subjectivities, practice, and figuring out things about how to use the product. Yeah. Maybe I don't like reading instructions. Well, moon dust, then that's why your IKEA shelf is backwards. Girl, I literally just Googled guidelines for getting a spray tan this morning, and these are exactly it. This is wild. I also Googled it, so I am just reciting what Google told me, because I'm trying to follow the instructions so that I don't end up with, you know, the streaky feedback. User error is so real in cosmetics. It is. And I try super hard to provide education. So on Holo Taco's directions or instructions page, like on our thinner page, like you will find like steps. There's also a video linked to that. But it is hard to get all the information, all the little nuance out there, unless you sit down with me for 3 hours in a stream, which I get. Not everyone is doing. And sometimes it's just trial and error. So back to what my point was. I acknowledge that it is frustrating for some people to like have to learn how to work with something. So that's why I did even hesitate to release Garden Party Taco, because I'm like, this is gonna need a little more finessing, a little more patience from people, but I want to try it because I want to do more things like this, you know? And there's a balance. I couldn't start just releasing a bunch of these or equivalents and a bunch of glitters all the time and not have any like easy products to use, because then it's just becoming more challenging for people. But you know, I like to balance it. Simply, what are those numbers in Nightbot? I have no idea. It's the error code, because there's no Holo Taco launch planned into this. Although maybe there should be. Maybe you're gonna get an email. What? Okay. On that note, thank you for joining me. Thank you for thinning out nail polishes with me for 3 hours. We did it. We survived. That's right. Please save your nail polish. Okay, ride a horse, save your nail polish. Don't throw it out. This has been a PSA. Thank you guys. Thank you mods for, you know, keeping the chat nicely thinned. That doesn't even make sense. Mods are like nail polish center, okay? You need them. And they're there to keep things even and working well. You better go get some. Everyone needs a mod. Go pick some up at holotaco.com. I'm just kidding. You can't buy mods. That's weird. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend, a long weekend if you're in Canada. And I'll be back on Wednesday with some gaming. Still have to determine that, but it's going to be a cozy, cute, pixely, girly vibes game. And yeah, I'll see you guys next weekend. Maybe it'll be a sparkly one. Thanks much for watching. See y'all later. Bye.